You just have to say Alt F4 to kill the app, right? And let's see what goes inside this pixel file. It's basically this. So the last thing we did was capital D, and you see the ones, if you just visualize, they make, they kind of give you a capital D, and the zeros indicate the background pixels. The ones indicate the foreground pixels, right? So this, if you can watch this carefully, this indicates a D, right? So now let's do some recognition, shall we? So I'm gonna take off the spaces between the characters, and I'm gonna give the spaces before and after done loading string. You will know why I did this shortly. And I'm gonna invoke the application again. You see a full screen swing app. You see the background desktop appearing as the background, as the foreground of this desktop app, right? And let us save for the left curly braces as well, right? So that's left curly brace over here, right? So, and let me do recognize. So for saving we hit the key S. Now for recognize we're going to hit the key R. There you go. You see, just recognize cap D, which is capital D, O-N-E, then space loading. So here we go. So this is how we recognize, So what we have done here is we have created a small knowledge base for our recognition purposes, and this knowledge base is limited to what we need. Since we wanted to just recognize done loading and maybe some more, we just kept a small database here, a small knowledge base, and we use this to recognize the characters that we need. So this is what the process is. And now let us make things a little bit complicated. Now let's recognize double quotes, right? So before we do that, we cannot save a file with double quote, obviously. So what we do, we separate them just as we did for before for saving. Run the app again, right? So here we go. Now we get to draw rectangles. We draw, save, double quote. So we've done that. Now I'm gonna kill it, right? I'm gonna do this and run, and then I'm gonna carefully draw a rectangle just covering downloading along with the quotes. Okay, let me be careful here. Okay, so we have got a, ensure that when you draw a rectangle, ensure that the background is visible within the rectangle, right? So I'm gonna say R. You see, quotes cap D, which is capital D, O-N-E, and then space and loading. So here we go. This is very simple, right? Let's see what happens if you want to recognize this, because we've already saved this now. There you go. Ha ha ha. Now what happens if you want to recognize this one, which we did not save? See, this is what happens when you are trying to recognize something which is not saved in your knowledge base. So as simple as that, right? And remember, we create a knowledge base. I have closed the application now. We create a knowledge base that is required for us, and this is the app, and you can, this recognizer class works as a standalone application. All it needs is a rectangular area. You see, where is the constructor? Dude, okay, there you go. This is the rectangular area you give it, and let me show you where it is called from. So this is where you set the space width. Space width you have to set it and pass it over, and the recognizer takes the space width and the max offset. The max offset comes into picture when you have fonts whose characters can overlap each other. So at that time, what can be the maximum overlapping? That's what is decided by the max offset. So this is also configurable. So this is very much a simple app, but very powerful and fast. I mean, you can recognize, you already saw how quick the recognition happens. The loading of the pixel files happens only once in the lifetime of the application. So you can make it to load every time you recognize by passing a true flag here. So you will understand once you go to the code. So this is a smart demo. So let me know your feedback, and thanks for watching.